Hello, welcome, Facebook, YouTube world. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I am so late. Ooh, I am sorry, y'all. I had technical difficulties, and so that's where I'm at. So hopefully you guys can all see me. I had to update my system real quick, like wasn't working and just totally botched it. So I had to find another solution to make it all work. And so here I am. Hopefully, if you're seeing this, like interact in some way, give me a thumbs up, say hello. Let me know that you can see this. Ooh, I see numbers popping up. So there's people watching. Awesome. Thanks for joining me. This is Wellness Wednesday. My name is Jessica Bravo. I'm a licensed acupuncturist, Reiki master teacher, and intuitive holistic healer. And so welcome if you haven't been here with me before. And today's live stream episode, this is streaming to both Facebook and YouTube. Hopefully, if all is working well, you can all see me on both platforms. But today's episode is based on a previous episode and answering some questions that I received in regards to last week's episode, which was a guest episode where I had Lindsay on with me, who is a licensed clinical psychologist. And we talked about self-cultivation and how that falls into the world of acupuncture and Chinese medicine as a whole, as it relates to the 8 branches of classical Chinese medicine. And so go ahead and say hi in the chat or in the comments, please, so I can know that you can all hear me well, and let me know where you're watching from and how you found me. Maybe you're just a friend of mine on Facebook. Thank you for being here. But I can't tell who it is. So this is a new system. So we'll see how it works out, y'all. So I wanted to dive into kind of further that conversation that we had. And please, if you have any questions, if you did recently check out that episode, or if you just aren't really sure what I'm talking about, post your questions and hopefully I'll see it come up here in the chat, and I can answer it here live as well. But one of the first questions that I received was related to the breathwork technique that we shared on the episode, or at least that I shared on the episode. And so what that and how to do it or how to use it, that's more or less the question was really, I want to know more about how to do breath work. And so just a simple, easy way to begin is to begin with either 10 rounds of breath or just 1 minute. I don't like to overwhelm people when they first start out with a breathwork practice because it's new, right? And although we breathe all the time, this way of deep abdominal breathing, this really intentional breathing, it's truly how we're meant to breathe, how we're supposed to breathe, right? If you observe small children or babies, they are natural belly breathers, okay? And I've talked about this in a previous episode earlier on this season. But if we practice this style of breathing, this deep belly breathing, then it really can become a form of meditation in and of itself, because it's something that you have brought your focus to, right? And really that's truly the basis of meditation, in my opinion. It's not about having a quiet mind, which we talked about, Lindsay and I talked about in the episode. It's about learning to focus your attention and keep it focused. And if things come and pop up into and interrupt that focus, just simply acknowledging it and letting it flow through like a cloud, and just let it pass, and then bring your attention back to what you were focusing on. And in this case, it's your breath, right? Or counting your breath. So how do we practice this? You basically just want to take a full deep inhale through the nose, right? And you're going to fill your lungs, fill your belly, There'll be a slight natural pause. I don't want you to feel like you're holding your breath, okay? And then you are going to slowly exhale and empty the lungs and the belly. Now, you can choose to exhale through the nose. If you want a more grounding, kind of releasing breath, then you want to exhale through the mouth. So how will this look? I'll do it now. And there's also a natural pause at the end of the exhale, okay? So we can do that again. And if you're doing the counting method to start, if you're new to this, my recommendation is to just start with 10 full cycles of breath. So counting on the inhale or counting on the exhale, whatever just works out better for you, right? But basically counting each breath. So if you're counting on the inhales, you count each inhale until you get to 10. If you're counting on the exhales, you count each exhale until you get to 10. If you're doing it with a timer, you can still count to maintain your focus. Counting gives your mind a task, gives your mind a tool for something to do so that you can maintain your focus, which is powerful, right? We're almost tricking the brain, or we are, because we're giving, like I said, we're giving it a task. So even if you're using a timer, starting out with just 1 full minute of this deep abdominal breathing practice, then you can still count within that time frame, okay? And see how many rounds. Maybe you do more than 10, but the idea is once you get to 10, start back at 1. Okay, you're not counting infinitely all the numbers. You're just counting until 10 and then starting back at 1 if you're still having more time that you're going to continue to do this breath work. Okay, so that is the starting point for breath work. That's how you start out and build on it. So the idea is over time, you will do more time. You will spend more time doing this breath work. So instead of a minute, maybe you'll transition to 2 or 3 minutes and 5 and maybe 10. The other recommendation that I usually give patients is if you want to start small and you feel intimidated doing too long of a stretch at once, you can always do multiple small breathwork sessions throughout various times in your day. So you might still do just 1 minute, but you might do 1 minute 3 times a day with intention, okay? Or you might do 2 minutes 3 times a day, and you're still going to get an accumulated amount of time that you're working on this, which overall will expand or have a greater impact on your day overall. So it's a wonderful way to check in with yourself and bring back your focus and attention to whatever you're doing. Because if you take that break for you, you're recentering your energy and then you can get back to whatever it is that you're working on. So even if you are in the middle of your workday, just taking 1 minute break to breathe deeply and to refocus and recenter the energy within you, then when you get back to your work, you're that much more ready to get back to it. So hopefully that helps. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions about that. If you're watching the replay, because this will get posted, and it will also get reposted. The audio will go on the podcast itself. I do include this basically as a live episode that just gets posted within the podcast, and then it'll be available through the YouTube channel as well. And on the Facebook page, I'll just save it to the Facebook page since it's being streamed there as well. So if you are watching the replay or listening to this after the fact, I'd love to know. And if you have any follow-up questions, certainly something that I could dive into in another episode or respond to in comments and whatnot. So please feel free to share. Now, the other question that I got was around emotions and how to handle things that come up when you're working on these self-cultivation sort of techniques, right? And obviously, if you're needing help, right? If you require guidance in any way from a professional, right? Whether it be a therapist um, or someone like myself, right? Depending on how things are showing up for you. If you need support, seek it out. It is very important that you find the support that you need to help you on your path. Okay. You don't have to do this alone. Self cultivation and personal growth does not mean that you're doing this on your own. That is very important. As far as some of the other things that you can do, though, for yourself when you're working with your emotions, is writing things down. Okay. Even if we don't have a chance to speak out our feelings, right? If maybe we don't feel safe sharing it with somebody else, write it out. Get it out of your system in some way. And one of those ways is to, if we can't do it verbally, do it in writing. And so you can have a journal, or you can just grab a piece of paper and you can write out everything that you're feeling, everything that you're experiencing because of that feeling or that sensation that's coming up for you, right? Where do you feel that emotion? Are you feeling it in your chest? Are you feeling it in your stomach? Are you feeling tension in your back? What is happening when these emotions come up? Write it down. Okay. And maybe write out anything else that's coming up as you sit with this emotion, as you sit with this physical manifestation of the emotion, right? Write it all out. And then, depending, if you wrote it in a journal, great. You have something that maybe you can look back on maybe a year from now and say, wow, I've come so far. Or if you really want to just release that energy and recycle it back to the universe, you can then shred that piece of paper if you wrote it outside of a notebook and burn it. That's another option. Make sure you burn it safely. No fires, please. Um, but that is an option and a form of releasing energy without holding on to it, because oftentimes if we don't feel like we have a safe environment to express ourselves, we can hold on to things that really we don't need to hold on to. So let things go. Let the energy flow through you so that you can transmute it. And you can do that with writing. The other thing too is moving your body. When emotions come up, moving your body in a way that feels good to you. Okay. And so that may mean dancing, right? Dancing for me is wonderful. It's a wonderful form of energy release for me. Put on some good music, whatever gets you moving, whatever it might be, and just flow with it and let your body do what it needs to do as far as moving the energy. It may even look something like shaking or bouncing, and that's fine. Another fun, I say fun, but another technique that I recently learned, if you don't have the space or the energy, like if you're feeling just really low, but you need to release energy, but you're not in the right space to move your whole body, right? The other trick I recently learned is called popcorn hands, okay? And it's basically doing this with your hands, right? Just doing really quick, like open and close motion, okay? And this will allow you, it's still a powerful way to release and get energy out of your system, okay? So I don't know if you know this, but we do have energy centers within our palm. So we're able to use this as a tool and as a way of releasing what we're doing, right? Or what we're holding on to. So if you're feeling like you got to get energy moving, but you don't have the energy to actually move your body in a more vigorous way, then this is a tool that you can use. Go ahead and say hi in the chat if you're joining me. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm just going through answering questions that I received regarding last week's episode with Lindsay. So really exciting stuff. I do want to be mindful of the time as well. I don't know how long I've been going now, but that's okay. Um, let's see. What else did I have? A question about journal prompts too. I'm like scanning through because some of the stuff was repeat from different people, similar questions. So hopefully I'm doing a good enough job answering. Hey Ashley, how's it going? Thank you. Thank you so much. You too. Have an awesome, awesome day. Thanks for saying hi. So let's see. The other question was about journal prompts. Like, what if I journal, what should I write about? Honestly, I'm a big fan of automatic writing. There's so many sources out there that you can use to find journal prompts. I mean, you can just do a quick Google search on journal prompts for, emotional release, or journal prompts for healing, journal prompts for health, all sorts of things that you can find on the wonderful World Wide Web, right? But I'm a huge, huge fan of automatic writing, and I've shared this in another recent episode as well. So basically, what you would do, you take your journal, right? Any notebook, piece of paper, even, doesn't have to be anything official, but sit for a moment, ask yourself a question, or ask your higher self really a question. And it could be a question as easy or as straightforward as, what do I need to know right now in this moment for my greatest and highest good? Or what do I need to know, what's important for me to know right now so that I can move forward in this phase in life, or whatever, however your question is coming up for you, right? What is it that you need to find some answers on? And you set a timer for 3 minutes, let's say, or even just a minute if you want to start out small. Start out with a minute and then maybe try 3 next time. You could go longer. And basically, once you start that timer, close your eyes, have your hand ready on the paper to go, close your eyes, and then just write anything and everything that comes to mind. Doesn't matter what it is, but just write it, and write it with your eyes closed. That way you're not so much paying attention to the punctuation and spelling. Like, you're just writing everything that comes to mind, all the thoughts that come through, write it all down. And then when your timer goes off, you can either, if you're in the middle of writing something, you can finish it off, or go longer if you need to. That's happened to me before. My timer goes off and I still keep going until I feel complete. And so then once you've stopped, if you stop with the timer or stop a little bit later, once you've stopped, then you can read what you wrote. Okay. And you may be amazed at what comes through, right? It's so powerful. And every time I get more and more insight, every time I journal in this way, and it's so awesome to see what comes out. And it almost feels like it's not me, which it isn't, right? It's my higher self coming through, or even my guides coming through and giving me the message that I need to hear in that moment, or read. But what was I going to say about that? But it makes it even much more powerful. Okay, so give it a try. I hope that's helpful. Let's see, did I have anything else to cover in today's episode? I think that wraps it up. I think that's all. Yeah, everything else I've pretty much covered. There's a lot of breathwork questions and journaling stuff. If you have any other questions that do come up regarding self-cultivation, personal growth, or that episode in general, or any recent episodes, I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment, send me a message, send me a direct message, private message on either Facebook or Instagram. Yeah, follow me on all the social media platforms so you can stay up to date and get any bonus material that I share through there as well. If you're not already following or subscribe to my YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe so that you can also get any bonus content that comes through on the YouTube channel in the future. Right now, it's all podcast episodes that are linked to my YouTube channel that I'm recording in this way through video, and then using the video on the YouTube channel and the audio just on the podcast itself. But I will be sharing multiple or additional content through the YouTube channel as well. So subscribe so you can get the notifications for that. Thank you so much for being here with me on the live. If you're watching the replay, say hello and let me know that you're watching the replay. And I will catch you guys next week. Look out for next week's topic for the Q&A and submit your questions to me ahead of time so that I can answer them here for you. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, you guys. I love you all. Take care and be well.